take it more on a one-on-one basis. I'll take it more on a one-on-one basis.
Okay. That's you, brother.
Because it's,
Prabhuji Mukharan got stuck into packing duty today. We are like for the next week we are packing today.
I know, I saw that at 4 o'clock. What a convenient excuse for those. It's Krishna's arrangement. For those who really didn't want to listen, Prabhuji, we had to go and pack. So let's discuss the 9th chapter, second verse, and it's a long purport, so probably we'll discuss as we go along. Is there anybody on phone or watching online? Achha, okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhavashta Sakhi ki Jai. So, Shraddha Mataji suggested we speak something about Radharani, but it's a very esoteric topic which unfortunately I have no access to. Thus, I'm not in a position to speak. But nevertheless, it's because when the topic of Radharani comes up, then the identity of Radharani comes up. Who is Radharani? And then when that identity comes up, then it comes up is what is her service to Krishna. Then when it comes up, then the other thing comes up is what is her qualities that are so attractive and that completely control Krishna. Then the loving emotions between Radha and Krishna come up, and their various pastimes come up. And when these topics come up, then the topics of Mahaprabhu comes up, because Krishna was so eager to taste the love of Srimati Radharani, and he wanted to experience the emotions Radharani felt when she was serving him, when she was relishing his beauty. He said, I want to find out. But the problem, there is a small problem though. I don't have that love that Radharani has for me. Krishna is the object of that love, and he says, I do not have that love which she has for me. So how can I experience that love she has for me when I myself don't have that love? And that love technically is called Mahabhav, and even in the Mahabhav there are these are very advanced esoteric topics. Mahabhav, there is Madana and Modana, and this particular Madana Mahabhav is only available with Srimati Radharani and nobody else. And Krishna did not have that love. Nobody in the world, nobody ever can possess that love as Radharani have for Krishna, that Madana Mahabhav. And there are many, many qualities and characteristics of that. So, when that topic comes up, then Mahaprabhu's topic comes up, because Mahaprabhu, he borrowed that love from Radharani. Because Krishna, he did not have that love. How can I love without that love? So he borrowed that love from Radharani to taste the love she experiences when she serves him. So, this is in a nutshell about the greatness of Radharani and how she completely controls Krishna. Because Hanumat Prishak Maharaj mentions that the yogis, the munis and other transcendentalists, they perform severe austerities, they give up sense control, they strictly follow the rules and regulations, stay away from any material association, and they try to find absolute truth. And what do they find? They find the 400 form of Lord Vishnu as the super soul. And when they even advance to know who Lord Vishnu is, and then they realize it is Krishna who is the supreme Lord, and when they obtain Krishna, What is Krishna doing? He is chasing after the girls in Vrindavan, which they were trying to avoid. It's like, that's what Hanat Preshik Maharaj said. So yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. The reason Krishna is chasing the girls of Vrindavan is because he is attracted by their love and he is conquered by their love. He is subordinate to that love and he is submissive to that love. And the chief amongst the gopis is Srimati Radharani, who possesses that love to an unlimited, infinite degree, which can capture Krishna. So it is said that if you really want to get Krishna, then first get the mercy of Radharani, because since Krishna is bound up by Radharani, he will not refuse anybody whom Radharani recommends. But maybe if Radharani gives me mercy someday, then we can talk. But as of now, that's all I have to say. Please forgive me, Shraddha Mataji, for not obliging you more on that. Because I'm a beggar, I don't have any knowledge. And then just, yeah. You should be in marketing. You're very persuasive. But we'll come back to the Bhagavad-gītā. We'll do the 9th chapter, text 2. It's a big purport by Srila Prabhupada, but we can have this class on this particular verse. Kindly repeat after me. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idamuttamam Pratyakshavágamam dharmyam Susukam kartumavyayam Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idamuttamam Pratyakshavágamam dharmyam Susukam kartumavyayam. Everybody in the audience has to repeat today. Us too. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idamuttamam Pratyakshavágamam dharmyam Susukam kartumavyayam. 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 Rajavidya, the king of education. Rajaguhyam, the king of confidential knowledge. Pavitram, the purest. Idam, this. Uttamam, transcendental. Pratyaksha, by direct experience. Avagamam, understood. Dharmyam, the principle of religion. Susukham, very happy. Kartum, to execute. Avyayam, everlasting. Kindly repeat after me. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Hare Krishna, welcome. And we are on page 397. So, before we start, we'll just offer the Mangalachara and prayers, because usually what happens is you complete the purport and then offer Mangalachara and prayers and then start the class. So, if we do that today, then we'll give the Mangalachara and prayers at the end of the class. So we'll just... Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Upesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhayascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vyāsadeva Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Matsamo Nasti Papatma Naparadhi Chakaschana Parihare Pilajjame Kim Bhruve Purushottama Bhumau Skalitapadanam Bhumireva Tvai Jata Paradhanam Tvameva Sharanam Prabhu Govinda Vallabhe Radhe Prarthaye Tvamaham Sada Tvadiyam Niti Janathu Govindo Mam Tvaya Saha Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Prana Vallabha Radha Ramana Vande Tvam Radhika Prema Nirchita Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Sikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kripambudiryastamaham Prapadye Kalam Nashtam Bhakti Yogam Nijamya Pradushkartum Krishna Chaitanya Nama Avirbhuta Tasya Padaravinde Gadam Gadam Liyatam Chitta Bringa. So today we are going to read the 9th chapter, or the words from 9th chapter. A brief introduction to Bhagavad-gītā is in order before we start the 9th chapter. The Bhagavad-gītā is a verse which was spoken by Krishna, the Supreme Absolute Truth, at the beginning of the Mahabharata war. Arjuna was on the side of Pandavas, and they were up against Kauravas, whom they had contended to fight to win over the battle. And Arjuna, in the beginning or in the first chapter, he, after seeing his relatives, he deeply is depressed about the prospect that he has to kill his own relatives for over a kingdom. And after contemplating the disastrous consequences of fighting this war, he says to Krishna that, "Oh my Lord, I don't want to fight. I'm ready to go to forest. I live by begging, but to get a kingdom which is stained with the blood of my relatives whom I am going to kill is not acceptable to me." And in the second chapter, Krishna, he talks about the nature of soul, the eternal nature of soul, and how the body is destroyed but the soul never perishes. And in the later part of the second chapter, after describing the nature of soul, Krishna describes that how one can get peace by performing activities without being attached to the fruits of that activities. And in the third chapter, Krishna talks a little bit about karma yoga, about how one performs one's duty because one is forced to perform nevertheless. Everybody is in this world forced to perform duties, and Krishna says that you can perform your duties but perform in such consciousness that you won't accrue the resultant reactions to those duties. And in the fourth chapter, the Lord talks about jnana yoga, or knowledge, on how the process of doing your duties should enlighten you in spiritual knowledge, and how that knowledge also can be acquired by approaching a spiritual master and by rendering service unto him. In the fifth chapter, Krishna talks about renunciation, by performing duties but added with the spirit of renunciation. Unless there is that renunciation or giving up the desire for enjoying through senses, one cannot make true progress. And after giving these preliminary steps, Krishna says that one who has achieved perfection in these particular steps described thus far can achieve Brahman, or the impersonal, limitless effulgence of the Supreme Absolute Truth. And in the sixth chapter, Krishna talks about dhyana yoga, wherein the modern yoga postures, they get their root from these practices which Krishna talks about. How one selects a place which need neither too high nor too low, and how in the advanced stages one completely gives up a sense of proprietorship and is strictly a celibate, and how he controls his breath and focuses his mind on the super soul. And then the perfection of that process, or dhyana yoga, is that one achieves the super soul. The first 6 chapters, Krishna describes about the different yoga processes, but he doesn't tell much about himself. He just holds back about his own true nature. He gives indications, sure, in 4th chapter when he says that my birth and activities are transcendental, or in the 5th chapter he says you can achieve me. So in some places he tells about himself, but not much. But in the 7th chapter he starts describing about himself. He says to Arjuna, thus far I have told you much about you and how as a soul you can progress and achieve perfection, but I haven't told much about me. Now let me start describing about me. And in the 7th chapter, Krishna talks about himself and about the devotees, about how there are devotees who are in relationship with him for some particular purpose, and those who are not willing to surrender unto him. And he concludes the 7th chapter by telling that about the mixed devotion unto him. In the 8th chapter, Krishna specifically talks about the death portion of it, about how different processes of yoga have different practitioners and how they reach different destinations after giving up their body. But in the 9th chapter, which is the present chapter we are here, Krishna purely talks about devotional service. The title of this chapter is the most confidential knowledge. The reason it is called most confidential knowledge is because Bhagavad-gītā has instructions which can be categorized as confidential, more confidential, and most confidential. The reason this chapter is called the most confidential knowledge, because in this chapter, Krishna gives the ultimate stage or the ultimate aspect of perfection as is described at the end or the last verse of this particular 9th chapter. But even before we reach that stage of perfection, Krishna in this particular verse says that this knowledge or this devotion unto me is so pure, so simple and so sublime that you can directly experience it. And it's a fact, it's the truth. For the devotees who are following this process of devotional service or bhakti, they can actually experience it, and the results are pretty tangible and immediate. So we read this purport written by Srila Prabhupada on the more details about this particular verse. So let's start reading on page 397, the purport. Let's read the translation just once more so that we get back to this particular verse. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Purport. This chapter of Bhagavad-gītā is called the king of education because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. Among the principal philosophers in India are Gautama, Kaṇāda, Kapila, Yājñavalkya, Śāṇḍilya and Vaiśvānara. And finally there is Vyāsadeva, the author of Vedānta-sūtra. So there is no dearth of knowledge in the field of philosophy or transcendental knowledge. Now the Lord says that this 9th chapter is the king of all such knowledge, the essence of all knowledge that can be derived from the study of Vedas and different kinds of philosophies. It is the most confidential because confidential or transcendental knowledge involves understanding the difference between the soul and the body. And the king of all confidential knowledge culminates in devotional service. Generally, people are not educated in this confidential knowledge, they are educated in the external knowledge. As far as ordinary education is concerned, people are involved with so many departments: politics, sociology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, and engineering, etc. There are so many departments of knowledge all over the world and many huge universities, but there is, unfortunately, no university or educational institution where the science of spirit soul is discussed. Yet the soul is the most important part of the body. Without the presence of the soul, the body has no value. Still, people are placing great stress on the bodily necessities of life, not caring for the vital soul. The Bhagavad-gītā, especially from the 2nd chapter on, stresses the importance of the soul. In the very beginning, the Lord says that this body is perishable and the soul is not perishable. Antavanta ime deha nityasyoktaha saririnaha. That is a confidential part of knowledge. Simply knowing the spirit soul is different from this body and that its nature is immutable, indestructible, and eternal, but that gives no positive information about the soul. Sometimes people are under the impression that the soul is different from the body and that when the body is finished, one is liberated from the body and the soul remains in a void and becomes impersonal. But actually this is not the fact. How can the soul, which is so active within the body, be inactive after being liberated from the body? It's always active. If it is eternal, then it is eternally active, and its activities in the spiritual kingdom are the most confidential part of spiritual knowledge. These activities of spirit soul are therefore indicated here as constituting the king of all knowledge, the most confidential part of all knowledge. So as we mentioned earlier in the second chapter, the concept of soul is discussed. Now, we all agree that we are all active. Yes? Nobody is, we don't get up in the morning, we don't go to a corner unless there are some special cases. We don't go to a corner and sit there all day long with no movement. The point is, because we are active and the soul is within the body, which means the soul is the cause of that activity. So, the simple logic is, if the soul can cause the activity in this material world, how can after death soul be completely inactive? Completely, like no question of activity at all for the soul. The reason for this logic is, Krishna says that soul is unchangeable. So when the soul is active now and the soul is inactive after death, which means the soul is changeable, it has changed the nature of its quality, which is against the tenets of Gita. So the soul also has activities after giving up this body. But what sort of activities that the soul can take is the subject matter of this particular chapter. Excuse me. Any questions? On what we discussed so far? Okay. Shyamalanghi Mataji, can you just read the next paragraph, please? Let's see. Yes, this knowledge and the next two paragraphs, Mataji.
Yeah. This knowledge is the purest form of all activities as explained in Vedic literature. In the Padma Puran, man's sinful activities have been analyzed and are shown to be the results of sin after sin. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities are entangled in different stages and forms of sinful reactions. For instance, when the seed of a particular tree is sown, the tree does not appear immediately to grow. It takes some time. It is first a small sprouting plant, then it assumes the form of a tree, then it flowers and bears fruit, and when it is complete, the flowers and fruits are enjoyed by persons who have sown the seed of the tree. Similarly, a man performs a sinful act, and like a seed, it takes time to fructify. There are different stages. The sinful action may have already stopped within the individual, but the results of the fruit of that sinful action are still to be enjoyed. There are sins which are still in the form of a seed, and there are others which are already fructified and are giving us fruit, which we are enjoying as distress and pain. As explained in the 28th verse of 7th chapter, a person who has completely ended the reactions of all sinful activities and who is fully engaged in pious activities, being freed from the duality of this material world, becomes engaged in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, those who are actually engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord are already freed from all reactions. This statement is confirmed in the Padma Purana. Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam falon mukham krame naiva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. For those who are engaged in the devotional service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, all sinful reactions, whether fructified in the stalk or in the form of seed, gradually vanish. Therefore, the purifying potency of devotional service is very strong, and it is called Pavitram Uttamam, the purest. Uttama means transcendental. Tamas means this material world or darkness, and Uttam means that which is transcendental to material activities. Devotional activities are never to be considered material, although sometimes it appears that devotees are engaged just like ordinary men. One who can see and is familiar with devotional service will know that they are not material activities. They are all spiritual and devotional, uncontaminated by the material modes of nature.
So, the last two paragraphs which Shamalangi Mataji read, they confirm or they explain the word pure. In this particular verse, first word was Rajavidya and Rajaguhyam, and then Srila Prabhupada explains the meaning of Pavitram. What is the word Pavitram in that particular verse, and it is corresponding here. It is said that the reactions of the soul from the previous lives that he has or she has performed is now present in the form of this body in this life. The fact is that when we have a material body, which means we are either enjoying or suffering the fruits of our actions. And the chain or the amount of actions and reactions we have been performing since time immemorial, that is hard to actually account. There is no numerical figure we can attach because it is such a vast ocean. And Krishna says that if one takes to devotional service, then one is guaranteed to destroy it. There are other means to destroy the fruits of one's work. For example, if you acquire transcendental knowledge and you act in such a way that your activities are dedicated to Vishnu, then you have no reactions in this lifetime. But there are reactions from the past which you still have to undergo. So the other processes can help reduce or mitigate the reactions that one can accrue. But by doing pure devotional service to Krishna, you are destroying every possible form of reaction. As we read from the purport, this particular verse from Padma Purana, if you see that verse, there are 4 types of reactions. Aprarabdha phalam means that there is 2 kinds of sinful reactions. One is prarabdha and aprarabdha. Now prarabdha means that we are undergoing right now. That which have fructified, that which have manifested to our present body and senses as we see them. And aprarabdha means they are yet to be fructified. They are there, but they are unmanifest, but they are still there. And the next verse is called Kutam and Bijam. Kutam means in a seed form. Kutam means the tendency to commit sinful activities, and Bijam is the seed form. So this is a vicious cycle here. When a person has a tendency to commit sin, and that takes the form of a seed, and when the person commits the sin, then he is in the aprarabdha, means that the sinful activity is committed, the fruits for that activity are being matured and or fructified, or what's the word? The eggs hatch. I don't remember the word. The stage where the eggs are incubating. Thank you. Your sinful activity is done and your reactions are incubating. And once they break the shell, they become prarabdha. In Nectar of Devotion, we learn this cycle about how it goes. And then when a person performs the sinful activity, there is the aprarabdha karma and prarabdha karma which is going to come, and then the desire is there again to perform. It's a vicious cycle. So when a person performs sinful activities, there is an aprarabdha karma, and there is also a desire. The desire is again still there. So, for example, if you see cereal, whatever, you can add anything. Cereal drunkard, cereal this, cereal that. What is cereal? Cereal is that there is that strong tendency to perform certain illegal activities or unwanted activities. You perform that, but the desire still remains. Right? Because if that sinful activity or the sinful tendency, if by manifesting or by performing that activity, that desire goes away, then you would do sin only once. And then that desire is gone. And then you don't have to perform further sinful activities. But the fact is, you see, it's repeatedly happening. For example, people who are addicted to, say, intoxicating beverages like alcohol, they take that, they see the side effects. like massive hangovers, kidney, like liver getting completely spoiled. They see the effects, but they can't resist the tendency to stop. Why? The tendency is still there. And so that sin can kind of strengthens the tendency from within. The more you give it to it, the more it gets stronger. It's a vicious cycle. So it is said here that the pure devotional service destroys everything. It destroys not only the unmanifested, the manifested, the tendency, the seed, everything is totally gone. In the Nectar of Instruction, Maharaj Parikshit, he asked Sukadeva Goswami that usually there is, in every religion, there is a sort of atonement for performing certain activities. You perform certain activities to negate certain activities which you have performed. And in the Vedic rituals also, there are certain things. You did this particular mistake or crime, you got to do this particular stuff to kind of negate that. But then Sukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit asks him, so what about that? Atonement seems to be a good thing. You do a bad thing, you rectify it with a good thing, right? You pay through your credit card, you pay it up. Balance it out. But Sukadeva Goswami says that sort of tendency will not destroy, that sort of atonement process will not destroy the seed which is lying in the heart. Because that will overcome again. And in fact, it can take a very brazen outlook from a person. A person will say, all right, I know I killed this person, all right, I'll do something to counteract it, man, that's okay. So, this is half knowledge, and it can be dangerous. Because that person realizes that seed is still sitting in the heart, and it can erupt in a very bad way in future. So, devotional service is so pure that it completely destroys, it uproots. That the sins are completely uprooted from the root. And without that uprootion, or without that uprootment, the sinful tendencies still go on. Any questions, comments thus far? Yes, Chaitanya Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in the purport it says that like those who are already freed from the sinful activities, they can engage in the devotional service. And also this quote from Padma Puran says, those who have sinful activities and they take up to devotional service, then it is freed. So,
So, if we look up at the 7th chapter, 28th verse, it is said, Esham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. Krishna uses the word dridhavrata, means serving me with firm determination. So my understanding is that everybody is qualified to perform devotional service, even though one is sinful or not, because Bhagavatam gives a verse which is directly substantiating this particular concept, which is akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. The translation is that for a person who is full of material desires, or for a person who doesn't have any desires, or for a person who is still who has desire for liberation, one has to seriously perform bhakti or devotional service to Krishna. So that statement kind of says that the bhakti is open to everybody. But your standing in bhakti is going to determine how fast and how soon can you overcome your sinful tendencies. We see that because if bhakti is something which is open to everybody, one who takes up to the process should be going at a super fast speed and achieving perfection very soon. But the reality we see is that many people take up, some come, some go, some are casual, some are serious. After some time somebody stops. There's so many ways. Why? Because bhakti, though is open, there is this effort one needs to put in. Having said that, Krishna says there are two things. One thing is this deliberate attitude that I can perform sin and use bhakti to negate that sin is one consciousness. The other consciousness is that because of my past conditioning, I am hopelessly and helplessly performing certain activities which are detrimental to me, and my Lord, please help me from those, is a different kind of consciousness. In one, you are seeking the mercy of Krishna through surrender, through repentance, and with your full determination and effort to overcome those. The other is a deliberate use or misuse or abuse of that mercy that bhakti is giving, and soon you will fall away. After some time, you will still have the sin, but not the bhakti, not even to counteract. So there are two differences. But if you want to firmly serve Krishna, then you have to overcome as soon as you can your sinful reactions. Because the 9th chapter, what's the thing? Apichet suduracharo bhajate maam ananyavak. Krishna says that those who are even performing the most abominable activities, they are considered to be saintly if they are firmly fixed up in my devotion. Again, we can get into that verse. This is in the same chapter, but we can get into that particular details a little later. But the point is, the devotee deliberately doesn't perform sinful activities, but under the past conditioning, when that happens, he is repentant and he prays to Krishna for mercy to help overcome those, and says that no matter what, I'm not going to give up your lotus feet. I'm not going to stray away from this path, which is my only hope. And when one's consciousness is fixed like that, then Krishna says, I take charge of him. If Krishna can cleanse the whole world, is it difficult for him to cleanse one devotee of all his sinful activities? Tribhuvana Pavana Kripaya Lesham, we heard that. That by even a trace of his mercy, the whole 3 worlds are purified. So how difficult is it for Krishna to purify one single soul? It's not difficult at all. It's just our attitude of our situation and of our psychophysiological condition that pleases Krishna, or that kind of helps us move. Does that a little bit answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Other questions, other comments? All right. So, Shraddha Mataji, if you can read the next, let's see. So we read Pavitram and Uttamam, because Uttamam, Srila Prabhupada writes, is above the darkness. So next is Pratyaksha means. Alright, so we can do next two paragraphs, Mataji, all the way till page 401. Yeah. So 399, the last paragraph, till page 401, and that is still Pratyaksha.
It is said that the execution of devotional service is so perfect that one can perceive the results directly. This direct result is actually perceived, and we have practical experience that any person who is chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, in course of chanting without offenses, feels some transcendental pleasure and very quickly becomes purified of all material contamination. This is actually seen. Furthermore, if one engages not only in hearing, but in trying to broadcast the message of devotional activities as well, or if he engages himself in helping the missionary activities of Krishna consciousness, he gradually feels spiritual progress. This advancement in spiritual life does not depend on any kind of previous education or qualification. The method itself is so pure that by simply engaging in it, one becomes pure. In the Vedānta-sūtra 3.2.26, this is also described in the following words: Prakashas cha karmane abhyasat. Devotional service is so potent that simply by engaging in the activities of devotional service, one becomes enlightened without a doubt. A practical example of this can be seen in the previous life of Narad, who in that life happened to be the son of a maid servant. He had no education, nor was he born into a high family. But when his mother was engaged in serving great devotees, Narad also became engaged, and sometimes, in the absence of his mother, he would serve the great devotees himself.
So, Mataji, just if that's okay, can I just?
Oh, absolutely.
We'll do the words together. Kindly repeat after me. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mataji.
No problem.
Uchishtalepan anumodito dvijay Sakrits mabunje tadapashta kilvishay Evam pravrittasya vishuddha chetasas Taddharma evatma ruchi prajayate. Please continue. Please continue. And you can stop at the next verse.
Next verse? Okay. Yeah, that was a beautiful tune that you gave us.
Thank you.
In this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.25, Narad describes his previous life to his disciple Vyāsadeva. He says that while engaged as a boy servant for those purified devotees during the 4 months, that's page number 400, Prabhu, of their stay, he was intimately associating with them. Sometimes those sages left remnants of food on their dishes, and the boy who would wash their dishes wanted to taste the remnants. So he asked the great devotees for their permission, and when they gave it, Narad ate those remnants and consequently became freed from all sinful reactions. As he went on eating, he gradually became as pure-hearted as the sages. The great devotees relished the taste of unceasing devotional service to the Lord by hearing and chanting, and Narad gradually developed the same taste. Narad says further,
Tatravaham Krishna Kata Pragayatam
Tatranvaham
Anugrahena Shravanam Manoharaha Tashraddaya me nupadam vishrinvataha Priyashravasyangamama bhavadruchihi. Good.
By associating with the sages, Narad got the taste for hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and he developed a great desire for devotional service. Therefore, as described in the Vedānta-sūtra, Prakashas cha karmarnya abhyasat, if one is engaged simply in the acts of devotional service, everything is revealed to him automatically, and he can understand. This is called pratyaksha, directly perceived.
Thank you very much. So, one of the verses when we read, if we go back to the verse, just to for those who have come a little later, on page 397 we are reading the purport. We are reading the words Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, and it is perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. So, in that purport, Srila Prabhupada is describing the word Pratyaksha in these last two particular paragraphs, which Shraddha Mataji read. It is, and to prove the point, Srila Prabhupada mentions the story about Narada and the sages who came to visit him, and how by just eating the remnants of their foodstuffs, he got the perception, or he got the experience of transcendental realization. So, eating the foodstuffs of the great personalities, there are three items which are very potent in devotional service. They are eating the remnants of a Vaishnava, dust of the feet of the Vaishnava, and and the water that washes, the objects. These are like material things that can give bhakti, is that the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava, the remnants of the foodstuffs of the Vaishnava, and the water that washes the feet of the Vaishnava. All of them, if they are like taken or come into contact with, they help one advance. Any questions on pratyaksha? The other thing about pratyaksha, personally perceived, is that when devotees come to Krishna consciousness, they give up the taste of hearing mundane things. I found that when devotees come and they listen to bhajans, participate in kirtans, and get some taste of devotional service, the mundane songs and the mundane things, they come kind of not so attractive. At one point, actually, it was like the life and soul. I couldn't live without live without those songs. I mean, wherever I go, I had to have that songs. Whether I was reading, I was eating. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, not so much. It's a direct perception. I found that it's a practical thing I found. So there is something in this bhakti that kind of, reduces the taste for something material. Please welcome. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments on pratyaksha? Shraddha Mataji had something to say. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about one of the laws of physics that says that, a point in space cannot be occupied by two objects. So similarly, if you have, it's either, the devotional songs or the material songs.
Wonderful. Yeah. Very nice analogy. Okay. So, we can, so Shraddha Mataji, please read the next paragraph too. Dharmyam.
The word dharmyam means the path of religion. Narada was actually a son of a maidservant. He had no opportunity to go to school. He was simply assisting his mother. And fortunately, page 401.
Page 401 of Bhagavad-gītā. 401, yeah. We are on the first paragraph. Sorry, Mataji, go ahead.
He had no opportunity to go to school. He was simply assisting his mother, and fortunately his mother rendered some service to the devotees. The child Narad also got the opportunity, and simply by association achieved the highest goal of all religion. The highest goal of all religion is devotional service, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Pumsan Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhaktir Adhokshaje. Religious people generally do not know that the highest perfection of religion is the attainment of devotional service. As we have already discussed in regard to the last verse of chapter 8, Vedeshu Yagyeshu Tapashu Chaiva, generally Vedic knowledge is required for self-realization. But here, although Narad never went to the school of the spiritual master and was not educated in the Vedic principles, he acquired the highest results of Vedic study. This process is so potent that even without performing the religious process regularly, one can be raised to the highest perfection. How is this possible? This is also confirmed in Vedic literature, Acharvan Purusho Veda. One who is in association with great acharyas, even if he is not educated or has never studied the Vedas, can become familiar with all the knowledge necessary for realization.
So here, in that verse which we were reading, the word was dharmyam. Dharma is a common word, which is, dharma means faith or source of sustenance, or dharma can mean many meanings in many different languages or in cultural or subcultural context. But actually the Sanskrit meaning of dharma, or the word dharma, means that which sustains, or that which is an inalienable part of something. Let me give an example to this. Suppose I say to you, here my friend, take some sugar. Now you taste it. How should the sugar taste? And if it is not tasting sweet, then you say, dude, you didn't give me sugar. This is something else. Huh? This is sugar. Well, where is the sweetness? The point is, sweetness is something which cannot be separated from sugar. If you remove sweetness from sugar, then it's not sugar. So the dharma of sugar is its sweetness. Same with salt. If the salty taste is not there, then this is not salt. The thing is, the word dharma means that which cannot be taken away from something, which is an integral part, which is an inseparable part of something. Now, as we discussed in the second chapter, we are spirit soul, means that we are not these bodies, but the spirit behind these bodies. So what is the dharma, or what is something that is inseparable from the spirit soul? And Srila Prabhupada writes in the preface, the tendency to serve is the dharma of the soul. If you carefully analyze that statement, let's do that. You know, a politician tries to get your votes by saying, I'm going to serve the people. Whether they do the service or not, that's a whole other debate for a whole other setting. But the point is that a politician serves the people. A businessman serves the customers. A mother serves her child. A husband serves their family by earning. And if you see the whole world, there is this service factor. Even though one might say that I am the owner of business, still I have to serve my customers. Because without serving my customers, I won't be a owner any longer. I'll be filing for Chapter 11. The point here is that service is something which is inalienable or inseparable from the soul. But the service, then the next question comes is, if service is something which is inseparable from me, whom should I serve? What should I serve? Because if you can see, everybody is trying to serve everybody else in the world and trying to be happy. But the point is, not everybody is happy. And it is said in the scriptures that if you serve Krishna or if you serve God, then the service attitude reaches the highest perfection and you will be most happy. The deepest longing for the soul is to be united with God. And once that happens, then all the hankerings, the lamentations, the illusion, that is completely destroyed, because the soul knows, I'm at home. This is what I was looking for. As long as the heart doesn't get what it wants, then you'll be still searching. And no amount of other things will fulfill that desire. Let me give an example. For example, there is a child that somehow gets separated from his or her parents. At a state fair, at a concert, somewhere where there are multitude of people, somehow they got separated. And that child said, I want my parents. Here is your beautiful ice cream. No, I want my parents. And then the child might take the ice cream. For 1 minute he'll be satisfied. And the next minute, where are my parents? You know, unless the parents are found, the child's deep anguish still remains. Similarly, the soul is also trying to search for happiness in this world. And that's happiness. We try to get happiness through service. Please understand this point also. Service doesn't mean that everybody becomes a servant. You know, there is a difference. What we are talking here is the attitude of the soul, and the attitude of the soul is to serve. And people have found some measure of happiness in the service, but that perfection is reached when one serves Krishna or God. Until that stage, that service is not given its ultimate perfection or happiness. Otherwise, everybody should be happy doing what they are doing. A man who is trying to maintain his family must be perfectly happy because there is some joy, right? I mean, why a man works day and night working very hard to make money? Because he can feed his family, and there is some joy in that. There is some pleasure which he or she is able to get from that activity. And that activity or that pleasure is what we are looking through service. But not in this material world. When that service attitude is exhibited, it doesn't give the complete satisfaction to soul. So that doesn't mean you give up all your stuff and just try to blindly serve God. You should try to serve God, but at the same time keep doing your duties. Because at one stage you get the highest perfection to serve Krishna, and then everything else will be secondary. So that is the dharma of soul. And that's what we are trying to do. When we talk of spiritual activities, the whole idea is to engage that spiritual activities to serve God. That's all. There's nothing more to it. And then what's in for me? The highest happiness, because that's what we are looking for. Questions? Comments? Criticisms and its manifestation can be saved for later, because I don't have the protective gear right now. What was that? All right. So, shall we continue next? Okay. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Pavitram idamuttam pratyakshavágamam dharmyam. Dharmyam is done. Susukam. So the next item is Susukam. The process of devotional service. We are reading on page 401, the last paragraph. The process of devotional service is a very happy one. Susukam. Why? Devotional service consists of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoha. So one can simply hearing the chanting of the glories of the Lord, or can attend philosophical lectures on transcendental knowledge given by the authorized acharyas. Simply by sitting, one can learn. Then one can eat the remnants of food offered to God, nice palatable dishes. In every state of devotional service is joyful. One can execute devotional service even in the most poverty-stricken condition. The Lord says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He is ready to accept from the devotee any kind of offering, never mind what, even a leaf, a flower, a bit of fruit, or a little water, which are all available in every part of the world and can be offered by any person, regardless of social position, and will be accepted if offered with love. There are many instances in history. Simply by tasting the tulsi leaves, simply by tasting the tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, great sages like Sanat Kumara became great devotees. Therefore, the devotional process is very nice and it can be executed in a happy mood. God accepts only the love with which the things are offered to Him. So, how many people, especially those who are parents, have this experience that your child has come from school and he or she made some nice thing at school, or some scribbling or a painting or a drawing, and you looked at that painting or drawing and you said, oh, how cute, how nice. How many have had that experience? But if you really see, and if you actually take that painting to an art gallery and you say, this is a masterpiece, a few people will say, really? Are you sure? But what is this that you see in that painting which others fail to see? That is the love of that child. And the offering is not too perfect, and it's not the best, but it is done with love, especially when the child comes on a Mother's Day or a Father's Day saying that, oh, mommy, I've made this drawing for you or something like that, and he or she gives it to you. Your heart is touched. Why? Because it's done with love. And you don't actually see the external value of what the painting is, but just the love behind that. Now, if in that sense, actually God doesn't need anything from us. He has pretty much everything. It is not that if you don't feed him, he's going to starve. He is not a paycheck to paycheck kind of person. In fact, he has so much of unlimited wealth that he can create planets at will and just give, and his wealth still remains undiminished. It is said, Om Purnamada. If he can take infinite from him, still he has infinite. Take more infinite, he is infinite. So infinite minus infinite is infinite. So there is no dearth for Krishna. So, but when we offer something to Krishna with love, then he sees that love behind the offering, not the offering itself. Because if he was just to see the offering, then it would be a serious problem. As much as you see that how the child has to perfectly do the drawing before I can accept it. No. So similarly, that relationship with Krishna is not actually barred by any external circumstance. Whatever little you have, you offer it with love, and the parent will accept it. And the other aspect for that that painting which the child draws, even the value of the paper, or it could be just a napkin or something like that which the paper must have scribbled. So intrinsically that doesn't have any value. But because it's done with love, there has some value. Similarly, Krishna says that you offer me something with love, I'll accept it. Please sit on the mat. Please, I request you, just sit on the mats. And so it's easily done. Not that we need to earn $1 billion before we can please God. If that was the case, nobody would please God. And God wouldn't be happy either. In whatever circumstance you are, you can offer your little, and then Krishna will be satisfied. Not that you have $1 billion and then you say, okay, I'll give $1 to Krishna and he'll be happy. The point here is that if you do it with love, then he knows what you have, because ultimately it's coming from him. So, yeah, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Other questions, comments? Yes, Prabhu.
I was reminded of that Brahmana who is so poor that he is mentally actually imagining that he is seating Krishna on the throne and he is preparing payasam, and he is mentally offering it because he is so poor, and he actually dips his finger into the imaginary payasam, and when he takes it out he feels that it is burnt. So that was the kind of absorption that he had, and still this thing happens.
Wonderful. Very nice point. Yes.
I just had a thought that, the love that we offer is more something that reflects back to us, and we feel the love as much as God feels the love.
That's a beautiful point. That's a very beautiful point. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that, because when a person does the makeup, what do? You actually look into the mirror and you see the reflection of yourself in the mirror, but you apply to yourself, not the mirror, for the makeup, yes? So, but when you apply to yourself, the reflection in the mirror is also beautiful because you are applying it to yourself. The point here is, when you serve Krishna, then automatically it reflects on you too. Yeah, you're right. And then in that state of affection, or the exchange of affection or love with God, therein lies the highest bliss, with no motives behind that. When God loves you, He doesn't love with motive. Neither you love God, you love without motive. There is no motive at all. There is no expectation. There is no expectation of a result or something like that.
So we need it just as much as he does.
Well, we need more than he does.
Right. Okay.
In the sense, like you're right. In one sense, we need more than he does, but in another sense, he wants to come back more than we do. He wants to come back to his home more than we do. We are like in this world, and okay, maybe tomorrow, maybe day after, like that. But he is waiting, eager. Yeah, you're right. So there is a reciprocation in the higher stages. Thank you. Very beautiful observation. Other questions? Other comments? So, the last two paragraphs, anybody wants to read? Please. Okay. Is there any volunteer who wants to do the last two paragraphs? Read. Or Shraddha Mataji, just go for it. It's okay. It's a time bound.
It is said here that this devotional service is eternally existing. It is not as the Mayavadi philosophers claim. Although they sometimes take to the so-called devotional service, the idea is that as long as they are not liberated, they will continue their devotional service, but at the end, when they become liberated, they will become one with God. Such temporary time-serving devotional service is not accepted as pure devotional service. Actual devotional service continues even after liberation. When the devotee goes to the spiritual planet in the kingdom of God, he is also engaged there in serving the Supreme Lord. He does not try to become one with the Supreme Lord. As will be seen in Bhagavad-gītā, actual devotional service begins after liberation. After one is liberated, when one is situated in the Brahman position, Brahma Bhuta, one's devotional service begins. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. No one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by executing Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, or any other yoga independently. By these yogic methods, one may make a little progress towards Bhakti Yoga, but without coming to the stage of devotional service, one cannot understand what is the personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed that when one becomes purified by executing the process of devotional service, especially by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-gītā from realized souls, then he can understand the science of Krishna or the science of God. Evan prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha. When one's heart is cleared of all nonsense, then one can understand what God is. Thus, the process of devotional service of Krishna consciousness is the king of all education and the king of all confidential knowledge. It is the purest form of religion, and it can be executed joyfully without difficulty. Therefore, one should adopt it.
Very nice. So this last two paragraphs, actually, Srila Prabhupada writes about temporary devotional service. We hear this term timeshares, where you have a house somewhere where you can share for a certain time. So this concept, Srila Prabhupada writes, time-served devotees. I'm a time-served devotee. Timing, what is that? Yeah, it's there. What is this? Time-serving devotee. I'm a time-serving devotee. Means that I serve for a certain time, and then once I'm done with my duty, then, yeah. Actually, it is mentioned in the 7th chapter about how different kinds of people approach God. It's not condemned that one approaches God if one has some trouble or if one has some particular motive to approach God. And Krishna is capable, or he is capable of fulfilling such desires. But the ultimate happiness you may not obtain. You may get what you want, but then the ultimate happiness is something which comes only when one serves Krishna without motive. There is no reason apart from serving you that I am serving you. There is that expectation that you will be happy, hence I will be happy. But that sort of expectation is beyond some material profits. I serve you and I approach you so that I need something from you, and once I get it, you know what, maybe it's not so important that we keep the connection alive. You can go your way, I can go my way. But pure devotion means it's more than that. It's the basis of service is service. I serve to get more service. And I do more service to get more service. And there is never ending. It's a vast topic about how Krishna interacts with such reciprocation. In fact, there is a book which is called Nectar of Devotion, written by Srila Prabhupada. It's a whole ocean on how these dynamics of love happen between the devotee and Krishna, and how they manifest, how they externally manifest, internally manifest, what is the results of such love. It's a whole science. So at least we humbly request you to at least consider, to see what this whole gamut of bhakti is, and why it is so pure, potent and powerful and applicable to everybody, irrespective of anything, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of background, irrespective of whatever differentiation you want to put, it doesn't apply. Other questions, other comments? Yes, please.
I just wanted to comment on the Susukham part of it.
Uh-huh.
And so before coming here to ISKCON, I went and attended Art of Living seminar for 4. It was a 4-day seminar at the Hyatt Regency Hotel over here. Very expensive. And the fees was also expensive, like $4,000, something like that. And so one of the things that they did was, for 2 days, they gave us absolutely bland food, like just boiled oatmeal and tea was cut off for people. That was not too big a problem for me because I never liked tea, but it put so many people in a very distressful situation. So tea was gone. You were just allowed to have herbal tea and brown sugar and things like that, and it was boiled vegetables for dinner and boiled vegetables for lunch. And then to make it even worse, you were not supposed to talk to each other. So you couldn't even complain, And even eye contact was forbidden. So you would just, look down and you'll walk. And I was so miserable for those 2 days. And I'm just contrasting that to what we do over here. Like, prasadam is so tasty and we are constantly talking.
And it is free. and it's free forever. There's no way we're going to charge any time.
Exactly, yeah.
Forget $4,000, we won't charge $4 also, anytime. For any sessions, any number of sessions, unlimited number of sessions for no cost. And compared to that, like we sing and we dance and we are happy and we are merry. And it's not that we don't progress in devotional service, we also do the hard part of it, but it's so joyful. And one of my colleagues at work has actually started taking these things very, very seriously. And he does a lot of Śrīṇvatam, a lot of Srimad Bhagavatam hearing. And he came to me last week and he said that people have started asking me, like, what's happened to you? Why are you looking so happy? And he was like, I'm hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Wow, look at that, amazing.
Susukam.
Yeah, it is joyful.
It is joyful.
Seriously, we do not have a whole lot of yogas. We do not have mind bending, back bending, knee bending, head bending, teeth bending yogas. Seriously, we come here, we chant, and it is not something sentimental. For those who are not completely familiar with the science of bhakti, this is not something sentimental, and it may seem that these guys are not doing much in form of austerities. I mean, they are not sitting for 8 hours a day in some yogasana posture and staring at the tip of their nose and trying to fall asleep. Yeah, so it's joyful. Thank you for highlighting that joyful aspect. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, it is a contrast, isn't it? Art of living is so tough. This is the art of dying, but it is so pleasurable, right? Yeah. Actually, I was Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
On another note, I was feeling so wonderful that how nicely Srila Prabhupada has explained the concept of unmotivated devotional service. Because I heard of one interview by the head of one of the sects of a major religion, and he was asked by the reporter, what will you do after you go to heaven? So his idea was, and he replied, for the first 100 years I will glorify Lord, and then I will enjoy myself. So Prabhupada is actually making his whole idea, that person's idea was that enjoying myself is as a motive that I get, is the expectation that I have for chanting. But Srila Prabhupada says that devotional service by itself is the thing that it's an end in itself. Right?
Very nice. Sir, you're coming for the first time? Yeah.
I've been here.
Oh, you've been here. Welcome, Aicha. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Other questions? Other comments? Yeah, something. Go ahead. We're just sharing. We have about 10 more minutes. So.
I was reading the Journey of Self-Discovery.
Yeah.
And over there it was written that if you try to please Krishna, you'll be very surprised because in the end Krishna will try to please you.
Wow.
And then it also said that if you try to please yourself, then you'll actually end up being a slave to your senses.
Wow.
And
Nice.
that will be a horrible thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, we have 10 more minutes? Is that what it is? Yeah, okay. I'm sorry I didn't get your name.
My name's Melanie.
Melanie, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Once Giriraj Swami Maharaj was here on Radha Ashtami Day, and as part of his lecture, he said that Krishna likes what Radha does, and Krishna does what Radha likes. I was just trying to bring the Radha in.
Right. All right. So, other questions, comments? So that we can have, we can sing a bhajan. Yes, Chaitanya Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, you were discussing about loving God. So, when you actually love Krishna, so, the motive is that he becomes happy. So, I didn't understand what is this unmotivated love without the motive that he becomes happy. Because there should be some reason you are doing something. Otherwise, if you are loving someone, you want them to be pleased. So if that motive is not there, then I didn't understand that.
I see. How do I answer this question? There are 2 or 3 angles to this. The first and the common angle is that when you serve Krishna with no motivation, which means you have nothing for yourself in the deal. I have absolutely nothing to get out of it. In the sense, like for me, I want to see Krishna happy. So that love which you have reposed to make yourself happy is being transferred to Krishna. So in that sense, there is no motivation on your part to get something. Even if Krishna punishes you, even if Krishna neglects you, sometimes he puts you in an awkward position, you still don't give up that love for him. Because and that will be tested, because as it is described many times in the class, we are here to get unflinching love for Krishna, but it's unflinching when you are flinched by circumstances. When the circumstances flinch you, they shake you, do you still have that love for Krishna? And then that when you pass through those tests, then you realize, yes, there is certain love, some love for Krishna, and that is not going to change. No matter how many times I get fired from my job, no matter how much of troubles I have at home, no matter how much for the students, how much troubles I have with the exam or the professors. The point is, when you actually go through tough circumstances, then your love is tested for Krishna. And then you realize, yes, even though I am suffering so much, I still want to make Krishna happy. Not easy. Trust me, it's not that easy too. But if you have that faith, then Krishna will be most pleased. The example in this case, because we are going to get the great festival of Ramayana, which is birth of Lord Ramachandra on April 19th. Here is the case. Now, we all know that Sita was kidnapped. And she was being viciously and mercilessly being dragged to Lanka by Ravan on his airplane, Pushpak. It was a beautiful, beautiful airplane. Now, Jatayu was the vulture bird. He was old. He was at the twilight. He did not have much strength in his wings. Yet, he furiously went up to Ravan to challenge him. Please understand that Ravan, he could destroy the whole demigods in the sky. He was that powerful. And he had strength of 1,000 elephants, 10,000 elephants. He had 10 heads. He had a huge army. He was undisputed person in the whole universe. And he went to challenge him. He was a vulture, not even a powerful animal. He was a vulture, old one, and he went to attack Ravan. Now you would call that really stupidity. It was completely unmatched. There is not even any question of who would win. But what was the motivation of Jatayu in trying to stop this battle? Was he foolish? Wasn't he realizing that it would be certainly his death if by going and attacking Ravan? What was the motivation? The motivation was that I have to serve my Lord Ram. And you can ask this question, that if Jatayu was willing to risk his life for Ram, why didn't Ram save him? Why did Ram let Ravan murder Jatayu? It's a valid question. But Jatayu still gave up his life for Lord Ram. And you know what was the fruit he got from his labor? He was able to die in the hands of Lord Ramchandra while looking at his lotus feet. Lotus face, sorry. Oh, who can get that death? And Ram personally did his final sacrifice, final rites. So, whether Krishna will let you live or let you die, he's always going to take care of you. So, the motivation lies in pleasing, but it is not for us, not for anything personal. And when you say, I love Krishna, which means I'm going to love all the living entities because they are part and parcel of Krishna, try that. And try to be the servant of Krishna. It's not at the outset it may seem like a simple concept, but the practical execution, it has its challenges. Because my false ego is there, and it won't let me bow down in front of anybody. With God, I'll bow down. He's God, he has powers. God's servants or God's devotees, that is tough. They are like you and me, how powerful they are. But you have to. So the point is, it's a whole science. And when we start actually executing and applying that, you'll realize it's not that easy that it sounds on the paper. That's the first aspect of unmotivated love. The second aspect is, what is the nature of soul? The nature of soul is to serve Krishna, is to please Krishna. And when you are doing that, you are living the life of your dharma, eternal dharma. That's your motivation, is to perform my eternal dharma, which is to serve Krishna. The motivation here, it's not completely demotivated kind of thing. There is no, because soul means dynamic, Chaitanya. Is your name, is it? Chaitanya. Chaitanya means the living force. The living force has activities, and what is the activity? Is to please God. So the soul's Chaitanya is being directed to the proper outlet, which is to serve Krishna in an unmotivated fashion. It's the nature. But it's on a pure spiritual platform. It's a little higher than the mundane thing. And once one gets out of all these mundane rituals and mundane things, then you can understand the motivation. And does that little bit answer your question?
Yeah, so motive is that to unmotivatedly try to please him.
Yes, because that's your original motivation. That's your original state. It's your original dharma. And you are doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions, comments? 5:45, should we stop here or should we continue? What's this? Usually stop at 5:45. Okay. Unless there are okay, there is some more time. The Lord is having his is bhog. Yeah.
You tell stories so nicely. So I was saying along the lines of the Ayataki Bhakti, if you could also tell us the pastime of when Lord Krishna says, bring the dust. I'm getting a headache and I want...
Nice.
You can share it.
Yeah. So... in the line of how one is, when we talk of unmotivated devotional service, we talk of pleasing Krishna, but we haven't discussed much about what happens to us when we try doing that, or to what extent can we risk ourselves to please Krishna. So there is the story that once Lord Krishna, he had a pretty severe headache. I mean, he was really suffering, quote unquote suffering. God never suffers, but sometimes he does it to show his transcendental pastimes. And Narad went to him and he said, "My Lord, what happened?" He said, "Narad, I am having a headache." "Oh, what can I do to cure your headache?" Then he said, "The only cure I think of is that I need dust from the feet of one of my devotees. When I take that dust and put it on my head, then, I think the headache is going to stop." Then Narad is relieved to hear, because at least he knows the cure, and he rushes. So he goes to this person who's a Brahmana, Vedic Brahmana, very well versed in Vedas, very well he worships God every day through his rituals and rites and everything. And he goes to this Brahman, and that Brahman says, "Oh, Naradji, come. Where are you coming from?" He says, "I am coming from Vaikunta." "Okay, how is Lord Vishnu?" He says, "No, he's having a headache." "Oh, really? What can we do to help his headache?" "Well, he said that we need dust from the feet of his devotee. So you are his devotee, maybe you can give some dust." That Smarta Brahman, or the Brahman, said, "Narada, are you crazy? The dust from my feet, you want to take it, apply it to the Lord? I will go to hell if you do that." "No, sorry, thanks, I can't do that." And then Narada says, "Okay, all right." And then he goes on and asking few devotees, everybody refuses, saying that, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't want to think of an example because people might imitate it. And then Narad is like flummoxed. What to do now? Lord is having a headache. Nobody is willing to give the dust from their feet. So Narada, he goes to Vrindavan, and where he sees these cowherd girlfriends of Krishna, who are like the gopis. And then they all see, "Oh, Narada, you've come from Vrindavan. Yes. How is Krishna?" "He's having headache." "Oh, he's having headache. Okay, what can we do?" He said, "The dust from one of his devotees' feet, that'll cure." "Oh, is that it? And then please take all the dust you want from our feet." Narad like, "Do you know the ramifications of what you're doing here? If you give the dust, you might go to hell, because you're offending the Lord." The gopi said, "We are willing to go to heaven for 1 million lifetimes if we can give 1 microsecond of satisfaction to our Lord." So the point is that unmotivated devotional service means I am willing to give up my own sense of morality, my own sense of my own safety, just to satisfy. It's a very high state of devotion, actually. It's not easily understandable, nor it is easily fathomable, because sometimes you ask, why? God is God, He's so perfect. It's like Bill Gates coming and saying, "I need donation." You'll say, "Really? You have billions of dollars and you want $5 donation from me?" But if there is love or exchange of love, you see beyond the fact that he's a billionaire and he's a person, and then you exchange on that intimate level. So to come to that point, we take some time. And that is the process of devotional service. That you see the Lord not as the supreme controller and infinitely opulent, but as a personal being, supreme being nevertheless, whose main purpose of life is to exchange love with his devotees. That's all. And in that state of devotion, being subordinate to his devotees makes him more happy than being revered by his devotees. It's a very esoteric state, and only because of mercy of Mahaprabhu you can understand all those real stages of what it is, what Krishna is, how the interaction is, and what sort of joy you get from that interaction, and how to reach that stage of interaction. And Mahaprabhu's mercy is needed. Otherwise, all these things seems too emotional, sentimental, with no real substance. Other questions, other comments? Thank you for raising that. Thank you for... All right. So we'll wait for a few more minutes, and we can just sing some bhajan and kirtan, and then we'll once the offering is done, and then we can get we get a word from Sukeshwari Mataji, then we can Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedānta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. So I thank each and every one of you for coming today for the Sunday Feast program here at ISKCON Silicon Valley. Needless to say, this will be the last Sunday at this particular location. Haribo! Yeah, so the deities will be moving to the new temple next Sunday morning. And the Sunday feast will be held there, hopefully. The details will be sent out. If you have not registered or if you have not given your email, you can give the email to Shraddha Mataji or to Damodar Prabhu, and they can give you the details. And any last one or two questions, final questions before we actually start? Okay, thank you again for coming. And the next part of the program is Arati, where we all stand up and we offer the ghee lamp to the Lord. And after this beautiful Aritik ceremony, we will have a full dinner prasadam. Again, no cost, no completely, and it won't be bland, promised. We're talking of art of living and how Shraddha Mataji, her experiences before she came. So. Again, thank you very much. Bhagavad-gītā ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. No, Gaura Bhakta Brinda ki jai.
So I kept on I tried to get away from the room, and I used to say, what is the answer? And I said, oh, just let me sit down. So I watched it until the end. Very nice class, Mother. I tried to get away from that, and he kept on answering, so I had to come back. And I was kind of late. I was about 2 hours late after that. But it was very
It's in the trash, you know.
नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे नमस्ते शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे शिव जय जय गौरा चांदे आरती को शोभा की बजय जय जानवी तवने जगमान लोभा जान दकीने निताय चान बमे गदाधारा की बदकी निकाते अद्वैताशीनि वासचत्रधारा निकाते अद्वैता वशीयाचे गौरचान रत्न सिंहासने की बशी आरती करे न ब्रह्मा आदि देव गाने आरती करे न ब्रह्मा आदि देव गाने नर हरि आदि कोरी चमर दुल्हाय गिव नर हरि संजय मुकुंद भाषु घोषादि गाया संजय मुकुंद भाषु घोषादि गाया शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल की शंका मधुर मृदंग बाजे परम रसाला मधुर मृदंग बहु कोटि चंद्र जीनी वदन उज्ज्वल की बबहु गाल देशे वनमाला करे जलमाला गाल देशे शिवा शुक नारद प्रेमे गद गद किव शिवा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरर संपदा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरर संपदा जय जय गौरा चांदेर आरती को शोभा की बजाय जानवीतवने जगमन लोभा जानवीतवने जगम गौरांगेरा रोति को शोभा जग जन मन लोभा गौरांगेरा रोति को शोभा गौरांगेरा रोति को शोभा जग जन मन लोभा गौरांगेरा शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंका बाजे शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर मधुर निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Pandita Prabhu Jaya Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Pandita Jaya Shri Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasa Pandita Jaya Shri Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ramo Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaurango 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 Shri Gaura Hari Nitai Nitai Gaurango Shri Gaura Hari Nitai Gaurango Shri Gaura Hari Jai Satchinandana Gaura Hari Jaya Satchinandana Nadiya Vihari Shri Gaura Hari Nadiya Vihari Shri Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Gaura 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 Hari Gaura 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 Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ramo Ramo Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Shri Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Shri Radhe. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha. Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shatash Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shatash His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की अयोध्या धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की गंगामय यमुनामयी की तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Namaste Narasimhaya Baladalagine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Hilatangana Kalaye ito nasimho bharato nasimho yato yato yami tato nasimho bahir nasimho hridaye nasimho Narsimhamadim Sharanam Prapagye Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyagashipur Nanu Bringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyagashipur Tanu Bringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Vyāsadeva की जय।
श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जय। श्रीमान महाप्रभु की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। We welcome everyone to the historic Sunday feast at ISKCON of Silicon Valley, as you all know, and you can guess from all the activity outside that we are getting ready to move. So this is the last Sunday feast at 951 South Bascom Avenue. Haribol! And of course, our Sunday feast programs will continue at the new temple with new enthusiasm, with new rejuvenation, much louder kirtans, more dancing space, and we'll make a big splash at the new temple. So we welcome you all to the next Sunday feast, but at our new temple location. So who can tell the address of the new temple? Yes, Vrindavan, can you tell? No? Okay. 1965? Latham Street. What's the city? Mountain View. Okay, so that's our new address. So we hope to see you all there, and please bring your friends and family members. And we would very much like to expand our congregation and our family at ISV. Tonight's speaker was His Grace Srivsa Pandita Prabhu, and we'd like to thank him for the nice discourse on Bhagavad-gītā. Tonight, Kirtan was led by Hari Sankirtan Prabhu. Thank him for the nice Kirtan. And Srivatsa, who was right here, he sang the Narsimdev prayers. So, tonight's sponsor is Revital Mataji, and she is sponsoring on the occasion of her birthday, as we understand. So,
and also her family flew from all the way from England. They are all here. His son
from England.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his grandson.
Can you take a moment to introduce your family?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something, and I'll introduce my family. I think it's an auspicious occasion, when a whole lot of things come together, and it's sad and it's happy. For example, you're leaving, but you're finding a better place.
Yes.
It's my birthday. There were several holidays all around in the last couple of days, and my grandson and my daughter-in-law are here from England. So
great, that's wonderful.
This is my daughter-in-law, Anna.
Anna.
This is my son, Jonathan. This is my grandson, Josiah. Sitting down there is my daughter, Adrian, and the twins, Sarah and Sophia, and Matt.
Let's give them a big Haribol! Haribol!
So, I live right around the corner, and it was my pleasure to come for over a year while you were here. But I promise to try very hard to come, at least on Sundays, all the way to Mountain View, which is where we moved here 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Maybe you should move back now.
No, it's okay. But I will come. But I just want to thank you for welcoming me, and I'm happy. I want to thank my family for coming today.
That's very nice. Thank you very much. We thank you, and we look forward to also seeing you at the new temple. And of course, we're very grateful for your entire family for being here on this special occasion. So in our traditional ISV style, we'll sing all together birthday wishes for Revital Mataji. So those, the family members, those who don't know our style, we just replace Happy Birthday by Hare Krishna. Okay, so we just go the same thing, but Hare Krishna replacing Happy Birthday. Okay, but the wishes are the same. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, dear Revital Mataji, Hare Krishna to you. Yes, and the next thing actually is to have our newcomers introduce themselves. I know you already introduced your family, but maybe we just give them the microphone and maybe they can say a few words on your on the occasion of your birthday. Can we pass this microphone?
Anything else?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. My name is Jonathan, and I've been here before, and appreciate my mom coming here and learning about Krishna consciousness, and I appreciate the hospitality and the warm welcome this place has always provided for her and for me, and I'm glad that she's found a place that she can come and share a community, and I hope to do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hello, I'm Adrian. I'm Rev's daughter, and I ditto what my brother said. Thank you for your
thank you
for your hospitality. This is Sarah and Sophia.
Yes, and please continue to bring the sweet, cute little twins to the new temple.
Okay.
Okay, next. Do you want to say something? No? Okay.
Hello, I'm Anna, and I've come from England 2 days ago, and I'm still jet-lagged, but I'm here to celebrate Revital's birthday. So I came here last year as well, and I remember it being very warm and welcoming, and I do feel quite sad that you're leaving just as I got here, but maybe we can come and see you on a Sunday, maybe before we leave. So thank
Sure.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Do we...
Happy birthday, Revital. I know she's going to miss coming here. She loves coming here every week. I know that. And I live with these people right around the corner, and it's been a great weekend and a wonderful experience. And thanks for having us.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here coming to the temple for the first time? Newcomers? Yes, please. Can we pass the microphone? And can somebody switch on the lights?
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
I'm from Seattle. My
Hare-
name is Radhika.
Radhika.
And
Hare
I
Krishna.
came all the way by Govindacharan. He was at our temple 8 years ago in Seattle.
Yes.
So wherever he goes, the new temple is built.
That's good.
So we really have a very big temple in Seattle. So now you guys are very lucky and
Yes.
have a new temple. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
She's my sister. She stays in here, Hayward.
Okay.
My another sister from Seattle, and my niece, her name is Pratna. She stays in California.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else coming to the temple first time? Vrindavan is not, I know. Oh, you're from Seattle, okay. Okay. You're now a Bay Area resident. Yeah. Okay, so the next part of the announcements, yes, please, to our special guests coming all the way from England. It's a meditation kit that you can use to meditate anytime, and it also has some few books to read. Okay, Hansapriya Mataji.
Hey, so how did we enjoy today's last Sunday feast at ISV? Are we all looking forward to go to our new home with the Lordship? Yes, great. So I won't take much time. I'll be very brief. I just wanted to say that thank you for all the devotees who came forward today to help us pack everything. We are 92% packed. We still have to go. We still have to box everything. So we do need some volunteers on Friday evening or Wednesday after the program, you can stay back and help us out to pack all these bags, and the last thing would be the kitchen. We would not most likely have Saturday morning program next Saturday here, and of course the next Sunday feast will be at the new temple, and we would be doing most likely in the morning. I'm waiting for Vaisheshika Prabhu's return, so then we can go over the final schedule. Want him to review the schedule before I send it out to the team very shortly. So that's that. So please look out for your email for the new updated schedule. So again, details to follow shortly for the next Sunday morning program. We would be moving the deities there. We're going to have a grand ceremony and wonderful kirtan, wonderful prasadam, wonderful devotees. So invite all your friends and families to the new home. We do want to remind you, if please park into the parking lot of there is parking lot on the main street on El Camino, so you can just come back from there. Also, we do need lots and lots and lots of help next Saturday morning. It's Saturday afternoon around 11 o'clock. We need help to unpack the boxes. We did get the movers, so we don't have to lift the heavy boxes and stuff. However, movers will go put the kitchen stuff in the kitchen, pujari room stuff in the pujari rooms. We need devotees to come and help us, because if we're trying to unpack everything in 6 to 8 hours, we need all the hands we can get. So please come forward. It's going to be great, fun event, working with each other, getting to know each other, and associating with wonderful devotees that we may know or we may not know. So it was a wonderful opportunity to work together. So please come next Saturday from 11 to 6 p.m. at the new temple location to unpack the boxes.
Sorry, Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday to unpack.
So Saturday to unpack. So we have movers coming on Saturday morning. They will start moving things on Saturday, and it will be there by 11 o'clock at new location. So please try to get there by that time. We will be providing prasadam. Devotees have helped to bring some prasadam from home. Okay, so that other thing is next Sunday we will have festival at the new temple, and so please come, and we do need lots and lots of help to clean up there as well before we get started for the festival and after the festival as well. We also invite, it's going to be the Lord's first feast and festival there at the new temple, so we invite devotees to bring the chapan bhog. Many of you may not know the chapan bhog. So what's the chapan bhog is basically different items. Chapan is a 56, and bhoga means offering of love to the Lordship. So like around this quantity you can make muffins, or you can make the sweet balls and gulab jamuns. So bring this much quantity filled for the Lordship, so we can offer different varieties to the Lordship on their first feast at the new temple. We will have a grand feast cooked by our own devotees as well, but we want to make a grand big celebration. So join us. There is everyone can do something. So if you do need help, reach out to me, Haris Kirtan, Vrindavan Priya, any of the temple devotees, Nilesh, Shailesh, they will be all here. So just feel free. Everyone can make the offering somehow or other. Hare Krishna. Is there any question for the next week's? I think it's clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Tonight's feast was cooked by, I know the effort is led by Urvi Mataji, but I don't have names of all the volunteers who helped. Can you? Niral Prabhu and Khyati Mataji. So let's hear big Hari Bol for the cooks. Okay, anything else? Last announcements at 9:51. I'm feeling nostalgic. Oh, sponsor is same, Ravidhan. Okay, let's sing Prasadam prayers all together. Do you have to say something? No, okay. Okay, and we'll honor the Prasadam after the Prasadam prayers. Okay? Sharira Vidya Jal Jodendriya Tahe Kal Jive Pele Vishaya Sagare Tar Madhye Jivhayati Nobho Mai Sudurmati के जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दया मोह तोरी बारे जी भाजाय स्वप्रसाद अन्न दिलो भाई कई अन्नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय एक दिन शांति पूरे प्रभु अद्वैत तेरा घरे दुई प्रभु भोजन बसिलो चाकोरी अश्वदाना प्रभु बोले भक्त गणा ऐसा कृष्ण अश्वदीलो हेनो शाकश्वदाने कृष्ण प्रेम ऐसे मने सई प्रेमे करो अश्वदाना जड़ बुद्धि परिहारी प्रसाद भोजन कोरी हरि हरि बोलो सर्वजन भाई रे सच्चे रंगाने खाबू माधवेंद्र पुरी प्रभु साधना कोरे भोजन खाइते खाइते तारा खाइलो प्रेम सुदुर्बार बोले सुनो सन्यासी रागन मोचा घंटा फूला बड़ी डाली डालना छछड़ी सच्ची माता कोरी लो रंधन तार शुद्धा भक्ति हैरी भोजन कोरी लो हरी सुधा समाए अन्न व्यंजन योगे योगी पाए जहा भोगे अझा बेताहा हरि बोली खाओ सबे भाई कृष्णेरा प्रसादन्ना त्रिजगत कोरे धन्या त्रिपुरारी नाचे जहा पाय त्रिपुरारी नाचे जहाँ पाय महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्राह्मणी वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यवतं राजन् विश्वासो नैर्जायते प्रसादे सर्व दुःखानां हानिरसोपजायते प्रसन्न चेतो सुयाशु बुद्धि पर्यवतिष्ठते भगवत श्री महाप्रसाद की जय. Third verse from the top. We go this one, and then at the top. Barha pidam natavara vapu karnayo karnikaram bibhradvasaha kanaka kapisham vaijayantim chamalam randhran venor sudhaya purnayan gopavrindair वृंदारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्रविशाद्गीता कीर्तिः तव कथामृतां तप्तजीवनां कविभिरीदितां कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततां भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन कला पाठो जनी भ्राजिता सद्भक्तावली हंस चक्र मधुपा श्रेणी विहारास्पदा कर्णानन्दिकलाध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वामरु प्राङ्गणे श्री चैतन्य दयानिधे तव लता लीला सुधा स्वाधुनी हेलोद्धूधिक्तखेदया विशदया प्रोन्मिलादामोदया शाम्यच्छास्त्रविवादया रसदया चित्तार्पितोन्मादया शाश्वतभक्तिविनोदया समदया माधुर्यमर्यादया श्रीचैतन्य दयानिधे तव दया भूयादमान्दोदया श्रीचैतन्य दयानिधे तव दया भूयादमान्दोदया निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल. Please come and take prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.